Welcome to the studios of WCMU Public Media. This time our second semifinal match, and that's between Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart and White Cloud. We have it for you coming up next. Hello again, everyone. I'm David Nicholas. Welcome to our second semifinal of this 21st season. This time, students from Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart are taking on the team from White Cloud. It's a 16-team single elimination tournament. The top teams from Quiz Central will qualify for the NAQT High School National Championship Tournament. Now let's get to our game. The first round is the Maroon and Gold Rush. Teams will have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as they can. If a team answers incorrectly, the opposing school has the opportunity to answer that question. Teams may not consult during this round, and players will receive a 1-second penalty if they ring in before a toss-up question has been read completely. That'll be indicated by an orange light above their name. Answers are worth 10 points apiece with no deduction for incorrect answers. If our teams, all our players, buzzers ready, here comes your first question. Plays in what language include Eugene Ionesco's absurdist play, The Bald Soprano, as well as a play about the impious hypocrite Tartuffe by Molière?
French.
That's correct. What author described the dreaming spires of Oxford in his poem Thyrsis and imagined ignorant armies who clash by night in the 1867 poem Dover Beach?
Arnold.
Correct. What city is home to Genbaku Dome, contains the headquarters of Mazda, and is a Japanese city that was the first to be struck by an atomic bomb?
Hiroshima.
Correct. The successful American defense of what fort in Baltimore inspired Francis Scott Key to write the Star-Spangled Banner?
McHenry.
Correct. What element whose filings are used to show field lines lends its name to a phenomenon also displayed by cobalt and nickel called ferromagnetism?
Iron.
Correct. Mayonnaise is an example of what kind of colloid, which is one liquid and dispersed in another immiscible liquid?
An emulsion.
Also correct. Next question, what man who poses as the receptionist Shirley in The Miserable Mill pursues the Baudelaire orphans in Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events?
Count Olaf.
Correct. What country's 2025 presidential election was won narrowly by right-wing candidate Karol Nawrocki, who succeeded the term-limited Andrzej Duda? We don't get time for an answer. End of that round. Let's check those that we did not get to. That country we would have been looking for is Poland. Now, before we get to that next round, let's learn a little more about our students competing today as we say hello first to the students from Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm a sophomore at Sacred Heart, and I'm on the basketball team.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm a junior at Sacred Heart, and I'm on the Quiz Bowl team.
Hi, I'm Noah. I'm a junior from Sacred Heart Academy, and I'm on the cross-country team.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a junior at Sacred Heart Academy, and I play basketball and golf.
Good to have you here, Sacred Heart. And now let's say hello to the students from White Cloud.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm a senior. I run cross country, throw and track and field, and am the section leader of the flutes.
Hi, I'm Liam Povey. I play varsity football, varsity track and field, varsity quiz bowl, and I lift weights.
Hi, I'm Brian Lovelace. I go to White Cloud High School. I am in the chess club, and I do band.
Hi, I'm Mason Delamater. I'm a sophomore at White Cloud High School, and I do football, basketball, and track.
Thanks to all of our students with us here today for this semifinal match. Now, the next round today is the kickoff round, and this round includes a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up gets the opportunity for a single bonus question. No stealing on the bonuses. After a bonus question, we'll go back to a toss-up for both teams. Players do receive a 1-second penalty if they ring in before the toss-up has been read completely. Buzzers ready? Here comes the first question. What civilization founded what is now the city of Cadiz used Myrick's snails to create purple dye in its city of Tyre and invented the first alphabet?
Phoenicia.
Phoenicia is correct. And the bonus question now for White Cloud. What British king who lost the Battle of Boyne in 1690 was deposed in the Glorious Revolution?
Oh,
Charles.
Charles.
Charles II.
I'm pretty sure.
Charles II.
Incorrect on that bonus question. Toss up for both teams. What quantity equals the dot product of torque and angular velocity in rotational systems is defined as work per unit time and is measured in watts?
Power.
Power is correct. Bonus question for you now. What class of echinoderms perform gas exchange using respiratory trees and are named for their resemblance to a vegetable?
The sea sponges.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sea sponges.
Incorrect. Back to the toss-ups. What opera in which suitors of a princess must answer several riddles contains Calaf's aria Nessun Dorma and was composed by Giacomo Puccini?
La Boheme.
Incorrect. Sacred Heart with a guess. All right, back to toss-ups here. Lake Peipus is on the border between Russia and what country whose capital is Tallinn?
Estonia.
Estonia is correct. Bonus question now for you. What 22-year-old woman who was detained on the ship Madeleine was trying to bring aid to Gaza and deported to Sweden and is a leading climate activist?
Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg.
Correct on the bonus question. Back to the toss-ups. In the novel Ethan Frome, Ethan and Maddie are severely injured after an intentional accident in which they steer what object into a tree?
Car.
Incorrect. Sacred Heart for the steal.
A boat.
Incorrect also. Toss-up for both teams. What airport is named for a World War II fighter pilot who defended the USS Lexington, has the airport code ORD, and serves the Chicago area?
O'Hare.
O'Hare is correct. And a bonus question now. What term beginning with A refers to a measurement of the fraction of light an astronomical object reflects?
Luminosity.
Yeah.
Luminosity.
Incorrect on that. Toss up for both teams. The Frosch process extracts what element which forms cross-links in vulcanization, is bonded to hydrogen in thiol, and has an atomic symbol S?
Silicon.
Silicon's incorrect.
Sulfur.
Sulfur is correct. Bonus question now for you. What desert, named to honor an American territorial acquisition in 1867, consists of ice cream and sponge cake topped with brown meringue?
Mojave.
Incorrect. Back to the toss-ups. In what 1994 film in which an opera duet is played over an intercom depicts Andy Dufresne's crawling through a sewage pipe to escape the title prison?
Shawshank Redemption.
Correct. Bonus question now. Ode to Aphrodite is the only complete extant poem by what ancient author who may have been exiled to Sicily after she lived on the island of Lesbos?
Sappho.
Sappho.
Correct. Toss up for both schools. What ecological event a refugee from which was depicted in the photo Migrant Mother, devastated agriculture on the Great Plains in the 1930s?
The Dust Bowl.
Dust Bowl is correct. Bonus question for you. What small Canadian province, known as the Cradle of Confederation, has a southern coast that borders the Northumberland Strait?
New Brunswick, maybe.
New Brunswick.
Incorrect on that bonus. To the end of that round, let's check the questions that were missed. The British king who lost in the Battle of Boyne, that was James II of England. The class of echinoderms, we were looking for sea cucumbers. The opera we were looking for was Turandot. And in the novel Ethan Frome, the object that they crashed was a sled. The term beginning with A, referring to the measurement, was an albedo. And the dessert named to honor the American territorial acquisition was Baked Alaska. Canadian province known as the Cradle of Confederation, Prince Edward Island was the location we were looking for. And at the end of that round, a lead for White Cloud, 130-30 over Sacred Heart. And our next round today is the Perfect 10. And in the Perfect 10, you'll have 60 seconds to answer questions from a choice of clues to 3 categories. The opposing team then has 30 seconds to answer any unasked, incorrect, or skipped questions. You can consult throughout the entire round. We take the answers from the captain. And the team that's trailing will get the first choice to pick a clue to a category today. Sacred Heart, you're currently trailing in our game. You get the first choice and the first 60 seconds to handle one of these: Double Dip, Party Like It's $18.99, and Home Field Advantage. Again, the 3 categories: Double Dip, Party Like It's $18.99, or Home Field Advantage.
Might be sports or wars, so maybe home field. Yeah.
Home field.
Home Field Advantage, your choice. The clue: given an American sports league and the name of a team, identify the city in that team's name. Again, given an American sports league and the name of a team, identify the city in that team's name. And your Perfect 10 with 60 seconds on the clock begins now. MLB, the Red Sox.
Boston.
Boston.
NBA, the Lakers.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
NFL, the Cowboys.
Dallas.
Dallas.
NHL, the Capitals.
Yeah, DC.
DC.
WNBA, the Fever.
Indiana.
Indiana.
MLB, the Guardians.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
NBA, the Trailblazers.
Portland.
MLS, the Earthquakes.
Pass.
NHL, the Jets.
Pass.
WNBA, the Aces.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And the end of that. All right, 30 seconds now as we shift it over to White Cloud. You got a chance to pick up on some that were missed in that first part. Again, it's Home Field Advantage. Given an American sports league and the name of a team, identify the city in that team's name. And your 30 seconds and your pickups begin with this. MLS, the Earthquakes.
Think of something.
I was thinking San Francisco.
San Francisco.
NHL, the Jets.
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
WNBA, the Aces.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
And those were the ones we needed to check on, and that brings our game a little bit closer. We're going to come to you now, White Cloud. You have 60 seconds to check on one of these final 2 categories: Double Dip or Party Like It's $18.99.
What are we thinking?
Double Dip is like, could be like food.
I don't know. What do you want?
And 8.
$18.99.
$18.99. Again, Party Like It's $18.99. The clue: the Gilded Age. Name these people and things from American life in the late 1800s. Again, it's the Gilded Age. Name these people and things from American life in the late 1800s. 60 seconds for your shot here at the perfect 10, and it starts with this. Founder of Standard Oil, the first U.S. billionaire.
Rockefeller.
Immigration station opened in New York Harbor in 1892.
Yeah, Ellis.
Ellis Island.
Political machine led by Boss Tweed.
Tammany Hall.
What?
Tammany Hall.
Tammany Hall.
Mocking name for investigative journalists who
Muckrakers.
expose corruption.
Muckrakers.
Nationality subject to an 1882 Exclusion Act.
Do you think
Japanese.
Japanese.
1890 antitrust law named for an Ohio senator.
Sherman.
Detective agency that helped fight the Homestead strike.
Detective Pinkertons.
Pinkertons.
Robber baron nicknamed the Commodore.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
Socialist president candidate jailed over the Pullman strike.
Give me something. Come on. Skip.
Roosevelt.
Railroad mogul who tried to corner the gold market in 1869.
William Jasper.
End of that round. We didn't get an answer in there. Okay, Sacred Heart, we're going to come over to you now. The chance with 30 seconds on the clock to pick up on the missed, skipped, or unheard questions in that. The category again, party like it's 1899, the Gilded Age. Name these people and things from American life in the late 1800s. With your 30 seconds, your part of this Perfect 10 begins now. Nationality subject to an 1882 Exclusion Act.
Chinese.
Socialist president candidate jailed over the Pullman strike.
Oral Browder. Oral Browder.
Railroad mogul who tried to corner the gold market in 1869.
Pass.
And we get to the end then of that round. Let's check those that were missed by both. That socialist president was Eugene V. Debs. And the railroad mogul we were looking for was Jay Gould. At the close then of the Perfect 10, we now have a score of 220 for White Cloud, 110 for Sacred Heart. Now on to our next round, and that is the home stretch. In the home stretch, I'll ask a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up will get the opportunity to answer a single bonus question. No stealing on the bonuses. After a bonus question, we will go back to a toss-up for both teams. Remember, players do receive the 1-second penalty if they ring in before the toss-up has been read completely. If our players are all set and buzzers at the ready, let's get started with your first question. Pitcher Freddie Peralta and catcher William Contreras helped what baseball team win the NL Central in 2024?
Brewers.
Brewers is correct. Your bonus question, what mountain range is home to the world's largest salt flat, contains the Altiplano Plateau, and stretches along the western coast of South America?
Andes.
Correct also on the bonus. Back to the toss-up. What computing company's microprocessors included the 8088 and the flawed Pentium?
Intel.
Intel is correct. Bonus for you. The second king of what name established the brutal force publique to extract rubber from the Congo Free State, which is ruled as King of Belgium?
Leopard. Yeah. Leopard.
And that's correct on the bonus. Toss up for both. What was the common German name for the MFS, the East German secret police agency that maintained an extensive surveillance network?
Stasi.
Correct. And the bonus for White Cloud in August 2025. Police in what state captured Austin Drummond, who allegedly committed a quadruple murder along its Missouri border north of Memphis?
North of Memphis. Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Correct. Toss up for both teams. What member of the 12 apostles does the Roman Catholic Church recognize as the first pope?
Peter.
Peter is correct. And the bonus question now. Colostrum is a precursor of what substance contains IgA antibodies, is produced by mammary glands, and is a white fluid secreted in lactation?
Milk.
More specific, please?
Lactic acid.
That's incorrect. Back to the toss-up. In George Orwell's novella Animal Farm, the exploitation of the proletariat is represented by what large cart horse whose motto is, "I will work harder"?
Boxer?
Correct. Your bonus question now. What New World country's independence began on Agio do Fico and was a future Braganza dynasty emperor, Pedro I, refused to return to Portugal?
I think so. Brazil.
Correct. Toss-up for both. YBCOs exhibit the high temperature form of what phenomenon, meaning that it can occur in YBCO at temperatures above 77 kelvins?
Deposition.
Incorrect. Toss-up for, or excuse me, Sacred Heart with a chance to guess.
Sublimation.
Sublimation incorrect. Now back to the toss-up. What instrument, the soloist in Ludwig van Beethoven's Emperor Concerto, has a range of more than 7 octaves across its black and white keys?
Piano?
Piano is correct. And the bonus question now, what Swiss psychologist proposed that children go through 4 stages of development, including sensory motor and concrete operational?
That's not Maslow, is it? No, it's the other guy. I don't know, I'm gonna say Maslow.
Maslow is incorrect. Next toss-up. Merozoite cells are found in what disease that is treated with artemisinin or quinine, caused by the Plasmodium protozoa, and is spread by mosquitoes?
Malaria?
Malaria is correct. And the bonus question, about 100 tons, which of Christopher Columbus's 3 ships was his flagship on the first voyage to the Americas in 1492?
Santa Maria.
Correct there. And we get to the close of that round. Let's check the questions that stumped. Colostrum is the precursor of what substance? Breast milk was the specific answer we were looking for there. The YCBOs exhibit the high temperature, and we were looking for high temperature superconductivity. The Swiss psychologist who proposed that children go through the stages, we were looking for Jean Piaget. And we end that round now. White Cloud is at 310, Sacred Heart is at 140 as we head into the final countdown to decide today's game. And as we enter the final countdown, teams will have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as they can. If a team answers incorrectly, the opposing school has an opportunity to answer that question. Teams may not consult during this round. Players will receive a 1-second penalty if they ring in before the toss-up has been read completely. We'll indicate that with an orange light just above their name. An appearance in our Quiz Central Season 21 Grand Championship game awaits the winner. Buzzers ready? Let's get started with your first question. Acid rain is produced by the reaction of water with nitrogen oxide, and what toxic gas released by volcanic eruptions whose molecular mass is 64?
Sulfuric.
Sulfuric is incorrect. We go to a toss-up again. Chance for Sacred Heart to steal.
Carbon monoxide.
Also incorrect. Now the toss-up for both. In what peninsula did Great Britain launch the failed Charge of the Light Brigade against Russian troops during the 1854 siege of Sebastopol?
Crimean.
Crimea is correct. Next question. The twin brothers who legendarily founded Rome were Romulus and what other man?
Remus.
Correct. Ratoskar runs up and down what structure that is gnawed on by Nidhogg and surrounded by 9 worlds, a mythic world tree in Norse mythology?
Yggdrasil.
Correct. The Gaspee Affair took place in what state, the last of the original 13 U.S. states to ratify the Constitution?
Georgia.
Georgia's incorrect. Sacred Heart for the steal?
New York.
New York also incorrect. Toss-up for both. What disease, which last appeared naturally in Ali Manoalan in Somalia, is caused by the Varroa virus and causes painful skin blisters?
Smallpox.
Smallpox is correct. A building nicknamed the Gherkin makes up part of the skyline of what European city whose tallest skyscraper is called the Shard?
London.
We'll take that answer right at the bell. Let's check the missed answers. Acid rain produced by the reaction of water with sulfur dioxide. The Gatsby Affair took place in Rhode Island, was the state that we were looking for from the originals. And that closes the round and our game today. $350 for White Cloud, $150 for Sacred Heart. Nice round of applause for both of our teams today. And thanks, Sacred Heart, for competing with us here in Season 21. We hope we'll see you back next season on the Quiz Central. And congratulations to you, White Cloud, as you move on to the championship. We'll have that coming up for you very, very soon. So join us again here on WCMU. For all of us at Quiz Central, I'm David Nicholas. You have a great night.